What's up, everybody? Dustin here. So I'm gonna go record a video now. I was thinking the other day that I've been doing a lot of really interesting projects with some really cool software tools, and I'm just one of those types of people that doesn't really talk about the different tools that I know how to use and stuff. So I'm gonna show you how to use one of them. Probably one of my favorite ones. It's called ArcGIS. It's from a company called ESRI, and I recently did a project up at UGA for a process management class. We basically created a web application using ArcGIS, and we started from scratch. And we had to gather information, gather all the data, which is probably the hardest part. But in this video, I'm going to show you some tools that outside of ArcGIS you may want to use in on a daily basis for whatever things you may be using Google Maps for. So I will state that the process I'm about to show you is kind of a backwards way of getting around Google's terms and conditions and their privacy agreement. I don't know if it's explicitly stated in there because I'm not going to read the hundreds of pages that they have, but basically they don't allow you to do a Google search. Look at all of for example, if I'm doing a Google search on the apartment complexes in the city of Atlanta and I want to save that to an Excel file, well, Google doesn't really let you do that. And in order to use ArcGIS, you have to have data, which typically you would find from Google. But to use ArcGIS, you have to import that data as a .csv or XML file into ArcGIS, which there's your problem. So what I'm going to show you is how to get around that and be able to gather information really, really, really quickly. In fact, I can actually show you how to put together a database of probably over 500 properties from Google in a matter of 30 seconds without having to manually enter information. So it's kind of cool, and I'm going to show you how to do it. We've only got about 13 minutes here to really go through this, so I'm going to try to fly through. Basically, at the end of this, we're going to have a web application from ArcGIS. So I'm going to minimize myself, and the first thing we need to do is we need to go to arcgis.com. I'm already signed in. You can create a free public account and start using the software. It's really, really cool. A lot of things you can do with it. You probably don't need to know how to do 90% of the stuff that the software has because only governments and very specific organizations really use it. So we're not going to get into the weeds today. So the first thing, like I said, arcgis.com. The next thing we need to do is we need to gather information. So first we're going to go and click Map. And a lot of people look at ArcGIS and they say, this is mapping software, really cool. No, it's actually got a lot of other information that we can use it for, and therein lies the problem with people's perception of ArcGIS. I don't know if they just do a bad job at marketing themselves or what, but you can use this stuff like I said, I used it for a process management class. We built a web application, so it's not just maps. So one of the things I noticed is we have to import information. We're going to add a layer from a file. Well, first we have to create that file. And as I've said, Google does not allow us to export information from a Google search results as an Excel file. So that's what we got to create real quick. So it's bear with me. This is kind of a little technical. I'm about to geek out. But the first thing we need to do is we need to go to Google Earth, since we can't get the information from Google spreadsheets. And what we're going to do is we're going to scroll up, and here in the top search engine, I've already got it open. Let's say we're looking for apartment complexes in Atlanta. We want to analyze that information. So instead of doing and manually entering the apartment information row by row in an Excel spreadsheet, what we can do is we can go and type in apartments near Atlanta, Georgia, click search. And as you can see, I've already got a bunch of stuff down here. I'm going to try to exit out of all this because start from scratch. Okay, yeah, so we're starting from scratch here. So what I'm going to do is go up here, and these are our search results. So they give it to us 10 at a time. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to say copy the current results to my places. So it's copied them down here, and basically what I'm doing is creating a big file. And we're going to go to page 2. We're going to do the same thing. You can do this all day. Add, copy to our search results, go to page 3, scroll all the way down, and keep doing that. So you can do this all day, but I'm going to do it just because we're short on time, just the first 3 pages. So that should be about 30 results. And what I'm going to do now is go down here and right-click My Places, and I'm going to say Save Places As, and I'm going to have to save it as a .kml file. Notice how I cannot yet save it as an Excel file, so I can't even open this up in Excel yet. And that's where the backwards kind of, around the around the doorway of doing this is about to come in. So we're going to save it as ATL apartments. So it's saved as a ATL apartments.kml. Next thing we need to do is we need to go to our desktop where we just saved it. I've been messing around with this, so bear with me until I can find the right. There we go. Okay, so we need to right click that file. Notice how it's a KML file. We need to open with Notepad, and it's going to look all funky like this. Well, that's because Notepad can't read it. So we need to go up here, and we're trying to save it as an XML. We're going to click Save As, and then we're just going to go down here and click All Files, and we're going to say atlapartments.xml, and then make sure it's saved in the desktop, and we're just going to click Save. There we go. So we can exit out of this, and now it's an XML file, and that's this file right here. So next thing we're gonna do. See, notice XML file. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to ESRI. And so since it's an XML file now, oh, actually we need to go to Excel next. So there's another step that we have to do. Now we have to convert it to a .csv file. Notice how many just backward steps that I'm doing just to save Google and from Google search results as a Excel file that can be imported. It's kind of stupid, but this is how you do it. So next we're going to go to Open, because Excel can only read XML files and ArcGIS can only read .csv files. So somebody needs to get uniformity going here. But this is how I do it. So we go down, we go to Computer Desktop, and then we have to go and find that file that we just saved, and it was Atlanta Apartments. .xml. Yeah, so that's it, and it's gonna say all this crazy stuff, and we're gonna just click OK, and then it's gonna look all crazy like this, but we're gonna go and we're gonna clean this up really quick before we import it. So anything above row 86 is just kind of just garbage that we're not gonna care about, so we're gonna delete it. We're also gonna delete some of these columns because we don't care about those either. So most of this information is actually going to get deleted, so until all we have is a property name, phone number, contact information, and all that good stuff. So yeah, we're going to delete most of this. We're going to keep the coordinates. I think I passed by the name. Yeah, we're going to delete all this. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to delete all this garbage. And then until we get to coordinates, we'll keep the coordinates on there because that may be beneficial. And then let's see, address, phone number, we can delete this here. Okay. So now that we've got all that information cleaned up, we can go ahead and make sure that we have everything here, which we do. And notice how all of a sudden I have, a very clean spreadsheet with all of the apartment complexes in Atlanta. Now, like I said, you can see where it's divided up by the, in tens, like it showed in Google Earth. And like I said, we can just keep doing that over and over and over again until we have like 10, maybe 1,000 properties from Atlanta, and it would only take maybe 5 minutes to do that. Now, imagine comparing that to entering all that information manually. That would take forever. And there's really no better way that I can think of to do this and import the information into ArcGIS. So next we're going to go, and last step is we have to save it as a .csv file. I'm going to go to desktop, and it's in apartments .csv, save. And now what we can do is we can go to ArcGIS and import that information. So it didn't really take too long to do that. We can go to add layer from file. We're going to choose from file. We have to find the file that we just had, CSV, import layer. And we have to go up here, we'll select address. You can choose how you want them to be populated on the map, by lat long or by address. So if you have a garment, for example, you can import that information by your garment. Address, we're going to make this, you have to choose what field name it is. So this is address. We're going to go up to property name and make that Okay, so that should be good. We're going to add these layers in there. It's going to take a second because there's a good bit of information. But notice how, we haven't even gotten to the really core things with the software. This is just the data collection process. So like I said, this is the part that actually takes the longest. It's actually, going out, finding the information, putting it in a file format that the software can understand. And then once you get to that point, you can start messing with the information. You can start adding data layers on crime statistics, population statistics. Yeah, sometimes it drops some of them. See how it says that we couldn't find 3 addresses. So they may have just been saved in a wrong or typed in wrong or something like that, but that's okay. We're going to go and change it to a heat map. So again, this is where this software starts getting really freaking cool. And you can't do this stuff with Google Maps. You just simply can't. So you can add different types of layers as a base layer. We're just going to keep a heat map and click done. You can go here. You can view the information, but we're just going to save it as a quick web application real quick. So we've got that information. We're going to add some layers. Search for layers. We're going to add crime index for the United States. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add, we'll just stick with crime, but just remember that you can add literally, ArcGIS has thousands, I'm not even kidding, thousands of data layers that you can add, and crime is just one of them. So keep that in mind. I don't have enough time to show you everything right now, but we're going to change transparency to 50% so you can read some stuff. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go up here and click Save as title ATL Apartments. And we're going to save map. Okay, so now in order to create the actual web app, we have to go up here and click Share, click Create Web App, and then there's all these different formats, the templates that they've already gotten saved. We'll just select this one because it's pretty cool. It's like a local kind of template. Enter summary, ATL Apartments. You can make this a lot more sophisticated. I'm just really short on time. I'm going to run through it. And we create a web application. So that's really quick, and it might not seem like a lot of features, but I just don't have enough time to really show you all of the features. I may put together some very detailed and specific videos on how to do certain things with ArcGIS. Pretty good stuff to know if you're into data analytics, for example, or data science, or market analysis or crime analysis. These tools are used by government agencies. They're used by utility companies. They're used by a lot of infrastructure uses this software very heavily. We can go through and change some of these settings. I'm not really going to. I don't really have enough time. But notice that you can just remember that you can customize all this specific to a company, for example. So if you were creating web applications for companies, we could totally do that, and they would definitely be willing to use it. I don't have enough time to really go through and finish all this information, so what I'll do is I'll show you the web application that I created, like I said, for my school project. So S3 web application. I have it saved on my desktop. All I have to do is double click it, and the web app opens up in the browser. So before we used this, this project was specifically for being able to have a virtual platform for people to use within the company to drill down into local statistics and stuff. I'm not going to show you all of the information, but we have the clients on the left side of the margin. We've got an about section for how to use the web application. We have various layers here: diversity index, crime analysis, household income. We have a different base layers that we can switch on and off. More importantly, you can click on a property and drill down into the property's information, contact information. We can click here. We can view local statistics and really drill down in that information. But that's all the time we have. So